Hey, welcome back to the homestead. So I'm down here in the orchard now, and it's time for a little bit of summer pruning. Now the reason I'm going to do some summer pruning here is for a couple reasons: is size control and to even out the trees. So you're going to do your main pruning for detail and for shape during the winter when they've lost all their leaves and they're dormant. But in the summer you want to just keep them a nice shape to them and tone down the size so that you don't have to cut off too much at one time in the middle of the winter and stress them out, or just taking off too much. So this here's a Santa Barbara peach, and this one is pretty uneven. There's not much here and there's more over there, so I'm just going to walk over to this side and just kind of make some cuts and even out generally this side. Think of it like a haircut, just kind of even it up. And I'm not going to do anything too crazy because this one's not that big really to begin with. So just a few cuts here and there, just some of the long stuff. You don't need to put much thought into it. It's just like, yeah, basically a haircut for the trees. Let's see. I can take this back just a little. Leave that. Let's take a little bit more. All right, I'm going to call that good for now, and we'll move on down the line of the peaches and apricots. All right, so now we're over to the August Pride peach. The other two peaches in between don't really need any. This doesn't need much, but I'm just going to give it a little haircut just to kind of even it out at the high points. I'm just going to take it back a little here and there. Nothing too crazy because this one's not that big, but yeah, I just want to even it out a little and size it down just a little, but not too much. So call that one good. Now we're going to go over to the gold-kissed apricot, which is one of the biggest trees in the orchard now. This thing's just gone huge, so I'm definitely going to give this a nice haircut. And in the summer pruning, you don't really want to take more than about 25% of the growth off, so you don't want to go too crazy, but you want to get it back in line so that it's not just taking off on you. This one's huge. You're going to go to there. Take a little more off of that. Some off here. Yeah, again, you don't need much thought into this. Just start cutting. It's not the same as winter pruning where you have to selectively choose, where to cut for which buds are facing where. This, you just start cutting. And this has a ton coming off the back here, so it's way uneven on the back, so I'm going to just even up the back here pretty good. Let's see. And remember to prune for what your needs are. So this is, for me, it's a backyard orchard. I don't want these things going huge. I want them all roughly 6 to 8 feet or so. That makes it easier to get the fruit. It makes it easier to maintain them and prune them. And really, if you have as many trees as I do, you don't need them to be huge because each one's still going to put off a lot of fruit. So get over to the back side, make a few more over here. Just be hiding out over here, making a couple of cuts. All right, let's see. Hiding out over here, just quick cuts, again, you don't put too much thought into it. That's pretty good. Let's get that off. A couple of tips come back here. All right, and now the rest of the apricots are good, so now we're gonna move to the next row. And that's to the cherries. So this is the Royal Lee cherry, and this thing's just shot up crazy high. That's like 8 to 9 feet up there, so definitely gonna take this down quite a bit. Boom, get that off. Get that off. Yeah, basically just toning down the vigor on this thing. Telling it to just slow down a little. Don't go so crazy right now in the summer. We've got enough for now. And these will keep pushing growth the rest of the summer. It's mid-July here. So there still will be a lot of time for more growth. So yeah, we can take quite a bit. Let's tip that off. That one. And remember, you know, always do a lot of research before you prune. And, you know, I'm just showing you how I do it. Watch a lot of videos before you get into cutting. Definitely check out the Dave Wilson channel. They've got a lot of good info. But summer pruning, it is pretty basic. You're just size control. You're just shaping it up a little. Next is the mini royal cherry. And also this thing's got huge growth. I mean, that's got to be almost 9 feet. So we're definitely coming way back with that. And next to it, some more. Out here, come down. Let's see, you come down. And little tip of these. Let's see, let's take even more off this. This will probably come off in the winter, but I guess we can take a little more off for now. Let's just get it nice and even. All right, that's that. A little there. All right, now we're over to the nectarines. The Desert Delight doesn't need any. It's just barely getting growth going. So we'll get to the Panama Nectarine, and this one's got pretty good growth, but not gonna do too much here. Just, yeah, trim it back a little. Just even it out. Prevent it from getting too lopsided in one area or another. Let's see, we're gonna go over here. There's a tiny bit more, just kind of even it out. There, call that good. And moving on to the next row. All right, next we've got the Arctic Star White Nectarine, and this is way out of shape because of the way it was winter pruned. We took out the middle of it, so it's catching up. This will be a season or two of catch up. Just do a little light out here, just a little light shaping because it's a little off balance, so not too much. It's not a very big tree. That's fine. Now we're to the Methley Plum, which has gotten real gangly. Look at this coming up. So we're definitely gonna give this a nice haircut and clean it up. And just making quick, easy cuts. Don't have to think about it too much, just make the cuts. And we're just getting it under control here. It's nothing too crazy. We don't want these things going 15 feet, which they will if you leave them alone and don't trim them. So as I said in my other pruning videos, it's all about you, the grower. What do you want out of these trees? You got to decide, and you got to prune for that, because if you don't, you're not going to get what you want. Just heading over here. Yeah, this thing had a hard summer last year because the ants and aphids just kept coming back on it and really hurting it, but we made it through that, and this thing's come out of that, and it's doing really great now. Let's see this guy up the middle. Let's just take that whole thing off right now. A little more on that, and he's coming down long. All right, so that should do it for the Methley Plum. Let's see, I'll get these down a tiny bit more. All right, so that's it for the Methley Plum. Then we've got a Fuji apple, which doesn't need anything. I love this way this tree is coming. It took a long time to get some good growth on it. The Gala apple's not even got anything on it. I'm just gonna leave this alone. This would be the golden Dorset apple. Just gonna leave that, doesn't have much growth, which brings us over to the aprium. The Flavor Delight aprium. This is gonna go in a separate video. And I'll put a separate video soon because this is being pruned slightly differently than the other ones. I'm kind of doing a follow along with this whole tree. So we'll have that in a separate video. That brings us to the last tree that needs pruning because the other one's a Golden Delicious, or no, Granny Smith apple over there. It's got hardly anything. So this is the all-in-one almond, and this thing's huge. So definitely gonna just start cutting, get it trimmed down to size. These tall branches are easily 8 to 9 feet, so they've got to come down a bit. Let's see, we don't need those. A little here, a little there. Again, not super critical. You just got to make cuts, clean it up, even it out. And when I say even it out, I mean we're just evening out the general outsides of it. As for the actual shaping part, that's going to be in the winter when we're going to really set the shape and do all our winter pruning. Let's get a lot of this off. We're looking pretty good now. Come down low here. Let's take a look from that far. Yeah, that's looking a lot better now. Take a walk around. Take a little here, a little there. Nothing too extreme with the summer pruning, but it is your time to size control, so you don't want to be too stingy with the clippers. All right, let's see. Yeah, we'll call that good. Now I can look over the whole orchard and say, hey, is everything about the same height? Does it all look pretty even and balanced? Because, you know, you want your trees to be similar, and that's good for the aesthetics of the orchard as well. So I do look around, I see they're all pretty balanced. Nothing's now over about 6-ish, 7 feet. This almond's probably still the tallest. It's about 6.5, 7, yeah. So I'm gonna call this good for now. So there's your summer pruning. Didn't take very long, probably 10 to 15 minutes. So don't neglect your summer pruning. Don't let your trees control you. You're gonna control your trees. So that's it for now. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you next time.